Sure, some of you may dismiss it as spring football, but the season is never over. That's why we have our guy Brent Beaird here, 365, breaking down all that is college football. Brent's the biggest story for the weekend for our area, G-Day up in Athens. The Dawgs rolling out and showcasing that quarterback room that looked pretty strong yesterday. For you, who is the starter come September 4th against Clemson?
Well, I think it's JT Daniels. I don't think there's any doubt about that to me. I mean, JT Daniels had a really good game for G Day, 28 of 41, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, the real question for you and I is, frankly, who is number two? And this guy has a real local flavor, and that is Carson Beck. Carson Beck obviously comes from Jacksonville, and he was 22 of 31. 236, had 2 touchdowns. Here's what I take out of Carson Beck. The coaches said after the game, they were impressed with two things: his arm strength, and more importantly, is his decision making.
Which, as we know, JT Daniels has an injury history. So that's a pretty important number,
Yes.
too. I think that part of the reason Carson Beck performed as well as he did was because he had the advantage of having Darnell Washington on his squad yesterday. I said it on the news last night, Brent. Is this dude a Kyle Pitts clone or what? I think he could wreak havoc on the SEC this fall.
Yeah, he's only 6'7", 280. I mean, it's just amazing what he was able to do during the game. They were able to throw him the ball, and he came up against a couple of quarterbacks who were 190. Well, they didn't stay in his way very long during the game. I mean, he caught four passes for 84 yards. So look, he is a real mismatch, and he has a real weapon for whoever's playing quarterback this year for Georgia.
And speaking of weapons, obviously George Pickens tore his ACL 3 weeks ago. He is out for the foreseeable future, most likely the season. We'll see. Washington, we spoke about. Who are some of the other weapons that have to step up with Pickens' sideline?
Yeah, the other guy will be, and he's a freshman. Adonai Mitchell is someone that all the players really talked about after the game, including the coaches. 7 catches, 105 yards. And Mia, they're really going to need him. You mentioned George Pickens. Pickens may not be back until November, frankly, if he's back by then. So they've got to be able to have some guys step up. Their wide receiver room is a good one, but Mitchell will help them tremendously.
September 4th, it all gets going, and we have the man who will be there every step of the way breaking it down for you all. Brent, thanks as always for stopping by.